Tesla was an inventor that revolutionized the way we conduct our everyday lives by introducing radio, X-ray, alternative current to a world that was already booming with incredible inventions at the time. Yet, most of those inventions came to pass, while Tesla's haven't even withered by the touch of time. He was a scientist, a showman, a wild inventor, but most of all, a man who acknowledged the potential of his ideas rather than let other people do it for him. But Tesla didn't live a life of leisure. He died in and faced poverty for a large portion of his life and was confronted with a world more interested in potential profit of his ideas rather than their ingenuity. One such example is that after Tesla immigrated from Europe to America, he worked for Thomas Edison early in his career. Edison asked him to fix the problems that he was having with his direct current motors and offered him the modern equivalent of $1 million if he succeeded. Being the genius that he was, Tesla solved his dilemma, and when he came to claim the reward that he was promised, Edison chuckled and told him, "Oh, Tesla, you do not understand our American humor. That is the perfect example of how crude and unfair life can be sometimes, that it will never align itself with our desires, and that we have to align it in order to fit our dreams." Tesla didn't throw in the towel that day. No, he was a scientist, and science means trial and error. Just as everyday life does, he kept on moving, despite his disappointments or mistakes. And how many of us have not faced hardships or made mistakes? How many of us said, "This is easy, of course I'm going to ace it"? How many of us thought that life is going to be simple, that the world will simply reach out towards us, and that we won't have to lift a single finger, that you could simply snooze off, and one day, miraculously, you will really push yourself to extraordinary limits and win? No. All happened is that one day, unexpectedly, you will wake up and realize that you have wasted your entire life and have joined the line of society's disappointments. That unconsciously, you have become a member of the category, some people are not good at doing anything, but most of those people are pretty good at doing that. Tesla spent his entire life trying to further his ambitions, trying to improve himself and his inventions. He once said, "Let the truth evaluate each one according to his work and accomplishments. The present is theirs. The future, for which I have worked for, is mine." That is what Nikola Tesla believed in, and that is what he fought for, and he never gave up, even when he made a few mistakes. So why do other people give up? Because you've made a mistake. Are you telling me that you are willing to give up the entire potential of your life because you have made a mistake? It is important to know that you will never be perfect. And what are mistakes in the end if not proof that we have dared to do something with our lives, that we have not spent our days cupped up in our comfort zones, that the only thing we have accomplished is developing an acute sense of self-preservation? Mistakes are supposed to encourage us. They are indicators that we are capable of achieving our goals, that somehow we are getting closer to them, that we have managed to move past our disappointments and our mistakes, that we have dared every day to try again, to become wiser, that we have not succumbed to fear or the derogative opinions of others, that we are worthy of our ambitions, and that we are capable of accomplishing them. Nikola Tesla once said, "Our failings and our virtues are inseparable, like force and matter. Once they separate, man is no more." You see, the strangest fight of all time is being able to brave every dawn with the same ambition and enthusiasm as the previous. It is the virtue of moving past your fears and your frustration. It is knowing that even though there are no obvious results today, then there are in the future. And what are we if not pioneers of our future, laborers of our beliefs and builders of our lives? That the mistakes that we have made today are the lessons which we have learned for tomorrow. That is why I ask you to stand up and to define your values, to never give up, and to try to better yourselves every day, and to not be afraid of making a few mistakes. My name is Octavian Misaila, and thank you for listening. Yes.
Although there are people that pertain to the category of people who are afraid of their mistakes, there are also people that overcome their mistakes easily. What would be their life exam, in your opinion?
Overcoming their mistakes?
Of the people
yes, who overcome them very easily. Well, it's something that everyone goes through, and while some people overcome their mistakes rather easily, those things actually mount up in the end. Nobody goes through life without having remorse. Nobody goes through life without having regret. And while some people move over their mistakes much more easily and others don't, in the end it affects them. Somehow deep down it actually scars them. Yes.
You.
You talked about Tesla and the fact that he accomplished all his goals. We can all agree that he made some great inventions, but they were stolen by people such as Thomas Edison. Do you think that although people accomplish all their goals in life, they can still live a sad life?
Tesla didn't live a sad life. That's the first thing that I have to correct from you. Was his life a little bit unfair? Yes. Thomas Edison was a person who had a lot of avarice. He was basically a CEO working within geek space. That's how I think of Tesla. Tesla was a geek. He spent his entire life trying to build something, trying to give birth to incredible things. But at the same time, it is sad. But to some people, while being sad, it can make it. To him, it wasn't. You see, it didn't matter to get money. It wasn't about trying to become famous or trying to build something. It was about trying to set the groundwork for something incredible. And that is what he did. And yes, some people go through these very sad things, but others don't.
Thank you. One more question, yes.
Regarding that Tesla's example with Thomas Edison, how can one further himself in life after such a devastating situation in which he simply believes that nothing will bridge him into life more?
We all go through difficult mistakes. We all have things that scars us at some point. We all have disappointments. And one point in life, you will experience those things. It is undeniable. But at the same time, you have to move past them. Tesla moved on because he believed in his ideas. Tesla moved on because he knew that he had something, and he knew that people like Thomas Edison or other CEOs or people who just wanted to make money off the brilliance of others are actually going to pass at one point. His work, however, will live on forever. And if we look around us, his work lives around us forever. The goal was never for him to live forever. It was never for him to simply amount money or just one shot and then if I lose, I'm going to become a school teacher or something else. It was about setting the groundwork for something. And he moved on. And he tried again, and he succeeded.
Thank you.